What's up, y'all? I'm LoTyler. I'm a junior communications major with a focus in broadcasting, and I'm in the spotlight with Randall Barnes.
And if you don't believe the flow, just wait another year. Cause I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me hit, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that condition, yeah. Now let me blow your mind.
Thank you for coming to the interview, LoTyler. Big fan of yours. You know, from the We Rock the Party showcase and all that. So I've been planning this interview really for months. Honestly.
Okay.
I didn't film the We Rock the Party showcase, but I got the footage, like I already told you before the interview. So I'm excited. This is dope. So just start off the interview. Just talking about your upbringing, like how you came up, your hometown, how you got into things. Just talk about that real quick for us.
Top 3 main people who have impacted me. Of course, there's many artists and other people who have influenced me, but there's only like a handful who actually impacted me and made like a change or a shift within myself and my music. And my mom was that first person. She's a songwriter, and just growing up hearing her sing and playing the guitar and everything, she really put that within me. She also put me in performing arts camps throughout middle school, so that's where just the love for music and acting and everything else came from. The second person I would say is Eminem. The first time I heard him, I was like in elementary, coming out of elementary into middle school. That was like 2005, 2006. And hearing him, I've just never heard anything like like how he was. So that was the thing that made me start rapping. But I was just doing it on the side. I was like playing around. It was as a hobby. And then when I heard B.O.B. in high school, that was like 10th grade, and how he was singing and rapping. And at the time, you had Drake and a few other people doing that also, but their sound wasn't the thing that made me go, wow, this is something I want to really do, until I heard his music, So those are the main 3 people who had a huge just impact on me.
So not Kanye?
No, Kanye is, that's why I said there's many artists who influenced me. I've been influenced by countless people, by Lauryn Hill, by Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah. Kanye West, of course, newer artists, and but the people who had just a main impact, who actually like set the motion, were those top 3 people.
And the old Kanye. I was talking about the old Kanye, not the new one, not the slavery Kanye, the old Kanye.
The other, okay, no.
Oh, it's so crazy. So, you said you had a passion for music growing up. You started making beats in 2012. So how was high school for you? And the reason why I want to ask that is because I feel like, and I might be wrong, you might give me a different answer, but I feel like every creator like has sort of a interesting high school time where it's like, your creativity is sort of unbound by anything, and you're like, I want to do this and that, and people aren't understanding it, people aren't hearing it, you know what I'm saying? I was wondering for you, like, you had that same thing where it's like, I want to rap, I'm trying to do this and that, like, you had that same feel. Like, how was high school for you in that way?
Definitely. High school it was rough, kind of, sort of. I went to, originally my home school, Cedar Grove High School. I went there freshman year, I went there to the middle school also, and then I transferred to Druid Hills High School. And I didn't even know I was transferring, literally until 2 days before the school year was about to start. That was around the time Cedar Grove, they were about to lose like their accreditation. It was like a scare. So my parents took me out, and there were a lot of other people who left also, but it's like all my friends from middle school, the friends that I did have, no longer, so I was in a new school. So that was just rough because I didn't really know anyone. I was pretty shy, actually. I still am kind of I am a little bit. I've been growing out of it. At the time I was like 14, 15, 16, now I'm 22, so of course I've grown from that. But, I remember playing basketball. I played basketball my sophomore year and going into my junior year, and that was around the time I started making beats more into rapping. And I remember we had a practice, and my mind was it was not there. I was like, man, I want to be at home working on some music. And I was just not paying attention. I remember I made the squad do suicides because I was just not there. And after that, I went, talked to the coach. I was like, Coach, I can't do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to juggle drama club, I was doing, art and everything. I was doing basketball, doing music, and I was trying to just juggle everything. And I was like, I just need to focus on what I love the most. And at that time, it was music. So I was like, I just have to cut everything else off. And, you know, because of that, many people didn't understand. They're like, why'd you quit? Why'd you leave? You know, mad because they didn't really understand why. But that was why, because music just took over. And since then, music has been that #1 love.
That's dope. So I just like, I'm a basketball fan, so in my mind, were you a small forward or power forward?
Small forward. I actually hated it. It was because of my height.
I know.
And it's like, I wasn't big. So all these other, I'm like, yo, you don't get off me? Okay. But I love shooting, though. I would rather be a shooting guard.
So basically, you know, I sort of get the gist that, you know, you were able to have sort of like a unit with your basketball team. I'm pretty sure you had supporters of your music and what you were doing.
Yeah.
So were you able to truly express yourself as a creative?
I would say inside of the household, not as much. I feel like around that time when I started rapping, my dad was like, oh, she's rapping. You know what I'm saying? As far as rapping goes, and then as far as female rap goes, how a lot of female rappers are more sexual, talking about sexual things. So my dad was like, I don't know about that. But overall, support-wise, they supported me, and they still do. But I was definitely able to express myself within my music, if not in anything else.
So let's get to the Elevated Convo podcast.
Okay.
Right? So where did that start?
Well, yeah, it started back in 2014. I didn't start releasing any audios or any videos until 2016. That was when I was like, I really want to put this out. Because I really feel like I really want to just talk to someone, even if it's just one person or a couple of people. I really feel like if one person hears me and understands where I'm coming from, understands what I'm saying about just the world, about life, about yourself, things within yourself, and things within yourself and things without yourself, then I'll be fine with that. Because once I put a certain thought or a certain way of being into your mind and you understand, you're going to go and spread that to whoever you know. You know, so that was the main goal within that.
Okay, so basically you enrolled at Georgia State, correct?
Yes.
So you were an engineering major?
I was audio engineering.
Audio engineering. Oh, okay. That makes it different because I was like engineering.
Oh yeah, no, not the sciencey engineering. No, no.
Because I'm like, was that your fallback plan?
Like the plan B, like.
Nah, you was going for audio engineering.
Yes.
So how was your experience at Georgia State?
Well, I don't have any issues with Georgia State. I liked it. It was pretty cool, but like you said, I didn't feel a connection with it. I was in it, like around the time, I didn't really want to go to school. I was unsure. I really just wanted to go just full, all the way with just music, with rapping. I didn't actually start DJing until earlier this year. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, but I just didn't feel like I didn't want to be there, honestly, which is why I took a break. I was like, you know, maybe school just isn't for me. I just need to figure things out. So I took a break about a year or so. And then last year, around last July, or the year before that, I'm not sure, July 2017, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give school another try. And then Fort Valley just popped into my mind because my dad is from Fort Valley. So I've always loved Fort Valley. And when I say I go to Fort Valley State, it just makes me feel something. I didn't feel nothing at Georgia State. I don't have any issues, but I just don't feel anything. I just don't care for the, not saying I don't care for the school, but not in the ways that I do with Fort Valley State, because it actually means something to me. I love Fort Valley, the city, and I love the school. So yeah. And this is where I started DJing. At the We Rock the competition, that was the first time I DJ'd ever. So yeah.
What is the story behind your passion for rapping? Because like when I hear you rap, you did the Kodak Black. I really did research. I've heard the song multiple times. You did the Kodak Black freestyle. Kodak Black. You did the French Montana one. And it was the one you played at We Rock the Party. I forgot which one it was, but at the end of your set, you said something like you know, you got to play your own song, right? And when I hear you, and even when you rap for MC Lyte, which we'll touch on in a second, I heard a passion and it was like delivery, because you have like just in general rappers. Certain rappers are smoother. Like their delivery is smooth how they do it. You know, you have mumble rappers that slur their words, right? Yeah. You know, you have like people that like sing when they rap, like Drake most of the time. You got Drake that has every other style, like rap hard, rap like a thug, rap like he's from Chicago, rap like he's from like Gucci Mane from Jones Zone 6. He got all of it, right? But you know, they have these different styles. And with female rappers, of course, like you say, it's sexual. But you have like Rhapsody, that her voice is like smooth and sultry. It's almost like she's singing in a way. And you got like Jean Grey, a fan of Jean Grey back in the day. You know, she reminded me of a female Nas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where it's like I heard her song. I think it was a love song or something. And like in my mind, it sounded like a delivery of Nas. You know what I'm saying? Remy does have like an aggressive delivery. Yeah. But you know, she has bars. It's like New York type style. But like with yours, it's like a finesse, like it's like, you know, finesse Atlanta style, where it's like I can tell you in the booth doing this, you in this in the booth, you like that, you in the booth, like you in the booth, I can tell, right? So like, but it's passionate, you know, like where's the passion coming from in your music?
I feel like with that, it comes from a place that's just beyond myself, because it's a feeling. It's a feeling I can't make myself feel. It's just a feeling that's just there. You know, so for that, I can't give you a just exact answer, but it does come from, I would just say, from my soul. It comes from a place just deep.
So this is something that I really like want to get into. This is like the juicy stuff. That gets good. Okay. I almost might put in a YouTube video, skip to this part of the video. This is what I really want to know, right? So as a DJ, so you said something very interesting. You started DJing. I sort of, in a way, when I saw the flyer for the We Rock the Party showcase, because the DJ thing, that was like an added thing. Because the first time, I've probably seen you on campus before, but the first time I ever knew who Lauren Hosley was the Angela Rye lecture, right? Yeah. And you asked the question, right? Yeah. Then it was the Traci Steele hosting the Traci Steele author talk. Then it was the DJ thing. So the DJ thing was like the cherry on top, right? Yeah. Like the cream on top of the jasmine smoothie. You feel me? But you know, but the DJ part to me is like the most important, because I feel as if it blends everything you do. You know, it blends the singing, it blends the rapping, it even in a way blends the acting, because DJing in itself, a good DJ is a performer. If you want to really get far, you're a performer. Like, what brought you into DJing? Just you started this year.
I'm gonna tell you. For that flyer, it was initially supposed to be for hip hop artists. It's all females, so rappers, dancers, producers, DJs. So I went in as an MC, as a rapper. I wasn't even supposed to DJ. Before then, I thought about DJing before, but I never actually followed through and did it. And, you know, they asked me, would you consider DJing? Because they were trying to get more female DJs to do it. And I was like, yeah, I would, but I would need to practice. So we still had like a couple of weeks before the showcase. So, you know, I signed up. I was like, okay, I'll be a DJ. So I actually went, bought the equipment, bought the software. For that whole 2 weeks, I was just in my room, YouTubing videos, downloading music, everything like that, getting ready. And I remember the week before, I was actually about to not do it. I was about to be like, you know, I don't think I should do this. I'm gonna just rap, you know. And then later that day, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to it. I said I was gonna do it. I went ahead and did all this work. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do it, see where it goes. And it all worked out. And ever since that showcase, like, there's been so many people hitting me up. And I remember within that week, I actually met and got in contact with Shawty Slim, DJ Shawty Slim. So I met him, and he gave me a lot of tips on DJing. And that's when I reached out to Miss Ellis, and that's when we actually started talking after the showcase. And so I remember hosting Jammin' in the Caf a couple of weeks afterwards that event happened. And I remember other people reaching out for parties. I remember doing my first party. It was for Maya Vega. It was for her birthday. I remember last year I did that party. It was crazy. I didn't even have the right speakers for it. I just had the regular studio speakers in a studio. So I still made it work though, but that was around the time that everything started kicking off, and that was just earlier this year in March, and it feels like it's been so much longer than that. So yeah.
That is interesting. The fact that you weren't even going to DJ.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Do you realize you were part of a moment? Do you realize that?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of. I don't.
because it's like in my mind, it's like I think of moments. I think of like, because if you look at hip hop, it's moments.
Yeah.
You look at sports, it's moments. You a basketball player, like the block that LeBron did. You know what I'm saying? The Michael Jordan shot, the Kobe lob up dunk. Those are moments. Like we don't remember whole games. We won't remember whole years.
You're right.
We remember a moment. Like 10 years from now. You talk about high school. 10 years from now, people gonna be sitting back like, yo, you remember that DJ showcase? Like she on that station now. You know, like, and that's a moment. You know what I'm saying? So like, do you realize that? And if you do realize it, what does that moment mean to you now? Looking back at it months later, now that like you're, in my mind, cemented in history before Valley.
Well, I definitely would say it was a moment, definitely for me, because I still have that flyer, and it's still, I hung it up in my room over my DJ equipment. So every time that I work on, you know, a new mix, every time that I work on something, I think back to that day and how everything played out. You know, because especially in the moment, you may not know, why are things going this way? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And it's not until later on when you look back and you see how it all played out, and you see how it all came together. And even with DJing, that led me more into radio more. You know what I'm saying? And it made me just really think about, you know, besides just elevated combos and everything, me just as a radio voice, me as a radio host, as a radio personality, that started coming into mind. And now that is definitely something that I'm looking more into.
So let me ask you this. Let me backtrack and let me ask you this. So I think this is important, and it's interesting that you said that. So what was your mindset coming into Fort Valley? Did you think, yo, I'm about to do this, I'm about to be the dopest female MC out there? Or was it like, you know, I'm just gonna find myself, I'm just gonna grow into it, and you eventually life brought you into it?
Yeah, it's kind of the latter that you just said, because coming in, I was actually a business major. Yeah, so last year I was a business major, because my mindset then was actually, I don't want to work at a radio station, I want to own the radio station, because I've always wanted to own my own label. That's still a goal of mine. So I felt like, I need to know, you know, of course the business, I need to, you know, be in school for business, but of course that's not the case. And just with the classes, I'm actually very glad that I changed my major, because with the classes that I have now and the courses that I'm taking, it's better suited to my creative side. Like, I can't just be in a suit in an office. No. And that would just not, you know, work for me. So my mindset was really, let me just get through this year. Hopefully I can meet some new people. I don't hardly know anybody here. So that was really just, God help me. That was the mindset, you know, just guide me and just place me wherever it is I need to be. And that happened within a year of being here. You
had like the dopest semester. That's because I just looking at the list. Yes. You realize how dope that was a month. You realize that was a month? That was really a month. So it's like the Angela Rye lecture. So you're up there, you ask that real deep philosophical question, and that nobody was expecting, and it was so good that people started clapping. And I think Angela Rye, if you look at that video again, because that was on YouTube, she was impressed. So she looked at it. She was like, if you look at it, she was like, you know. She took the mic, and I think she realized the question was that good. She started smiling. And then she said the response of, you know, she wished that all the people would stop telling young people what to do, you know? And the look on your face, it was like a yo, she really answered my question type thing. So I just want to get, like, just the whole insight of how you got into it. Like, being on the stage, like, when you walked up there after her lecture. Yeah. And just the wait, like, you wait and ask your question, like. And then, like, you answering the question, how you felt. It's the whole thing. Just go. Just listen. Okay, well, I'm a part of the Women of Excellence. Last year, I was the vice president. Shaq was the president. And Miss Brown,
Juwan Brown, Miss Juwan Brown. She actually is the one who put us in that position to actually be on stage with her. She made sure that we had like questions ready, you know. So I had actually a list of questions. I had like 5, 6 questions like that question, and I didn't even know we would only ask one. So I just chose the best one in my mind. And asking it, I was just very nervous. I was like, okay, God, kind of shaking a little bit. Let me just, you know, ask the question. And, you know, once I asked it, I did kind of just see the reaction that you're talking about, to where she was like, that was a pretty real deep, you know, question. And it was one that I really just wanted to know her input on, her answer to it. So, yeah.
The author talk with Traci Steele, right? So that was something that Tahira put on, Tahira in marketing, the wildfire portion of marketing. How did you get into the authorship? We know the DJ part, that is the rapping part, but how were you selected to be up there with a radio personality as dynamic and accomplished as Traci Steele? How did that happen?
As far as Traci Steele, she asked me, well, Tahira asked me if I would possibly be willing to interview her. And I was like, you know, of course, like, why not? Why would I say no, of course. So they gave me, you know, a list of questions, and I didn't know at the time they were going to give me a list. So I took it upon myself to just make a list, just so I could be ready to ask her. So I did a lot of research. Of course, I knew her face, you know, from Love and Hip Hop. I knew her from, you know, just a few moments, like you said. But I did a lot of, you know, just research on her. And it all just worked out. It all came together, and I'm very glad it did.
So basically, like, the set itself, how'd you come up with the set, from the songs to the hosting? How'd you come up with it? And was that something that was planned?
It was all, like, I already had the idea in my head. So I'm in my room getting ready for it 3 to 4 days beforehand. Or however, like, I believe it was about a week beforehand. But then 3 to 4 days before, I think it was on a Wednesday, I'm not sure. But on whatever day it was, the days leading up to it, every day, as soon as I got home from class, I would start mixing. And I would start getting ready for songs, because we knew the categories beforehand. You know, they told us we would have a 90s theme, 2000s, female rapper theme, and then just like a freestyle at the end to where we could do whatever. So I took advantage of that, and I was like, okay, let me get all my 90s music. Let me get what's going to hype them up. Let me get the hypest songs. You know, the R&B songs are cool and whatnot, but I want something that's going to make people jump. You know, I want them to just respond in a positive, energetic way to what I was doing. So I made sure I had everything ready to go.
So did you practice, was the hosting something you practiced as well?
No, that's just something I just...
So you wing that. No. That is dope. So from everything you were saying, I was just improvisation.
Yeah, because if I plan it, I'm not going to go as planned anyway. I'm going to end up just doing something else. Oh, I see you, because I remember pointing at other people and admiring everyone else who was dancing, so I just go off of the crowd.
Yes. I go by the name of LoTyler, and I just needed to spit this real quick. I got a legend like Lyte right up there on it, so I'm made for this. Boy, we're not made for this. LoTyler, over here, right here. I don't care how I look right now, because I'd be a fool if I didn't tap it. Oh my God. I love it. This is my sound. I hope that you like my style. Thank you for blessing the microphone. There's MCs everywhere.
The MC Lyte lecture. This is the one I've been wanting to get to as well too. Is the DJ Showcase MC Lyte lecture. So, she goes downstairs, not down the stage. A couple questions are being asked. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's about to happen. You come up. I was expecting you to ask a question. Yeah. But I didn't know that you would actually rap. Yeah. I was amazed, and how it happened was, I actually almost didn't catch it. Yeah. Because I wasn't expecting it, and I was sort of being, because I didn't have a camera. I was being sort of lazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm over there. I'm like, I didn't want to turn the iPhone to you rapping, but I managed to do it at the right time where I could get you rapping, right? And I thought that, once again, I was saying the whole interview, but tell us about just the mindset going into doing that.
Yeah.
Doing it, the reception, the picture, how that all felt.
Okay. Well, it was during the Q&A, and of course everyone else was asking questions. So I was like, you know what? I need that microphone in my hand. I'm not gonna ask a question, but the guy who was going around with the mics, he didn't know that. So I was like, I got a question. I got a question. Yeah, let me ask it. Took the mic and I just started rapping. And beforehand, I really was just nervous, and I really wasn't as ready as I should have been, I'll say. Because I do feel as though I messed up. It was just a lot of nerves, a lot of just breathing. I was just, and within that moment, I just really just wanted her to see me. Even if 3-4 years from now she looks back, and hopefully she'll remember, even if I messed up, even if I didn't, she'll be like, hey, were you that, girl when I went to Fort Valley? And if she doesn't remember, I can remind her, be like, hey, I met you once before. Back at Fort Valley State, you came, and I rapped for you. And with the picture at the end, it was for her book. And the only way that you would be able to take a picture is if you bought the book. And it was $20. When I tell you it was my last $20 in my pocket, that was it. And I was like, you know what? I need to take this picture with her. I need to go up there, introduce myself personally to her. So I was like, okay, let me get this book. And then I took the picture. She was like, oh, you're the MC. I was like, yes, I am. And I told her my name, and I just introduced myself. And hopefully one day, that'll pay off, and she'll look back and she'll remember.
So what's next for you? Because I know that we gotta get you out here really doing stuff. I want to see a poster where it's dates you're doing. You feel me?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Mixtapes, videos, you bring the podcast back.
Yeah.
Are there any events you're doing? So I just let us know what you're doing.
Okay. Next up, I do have a mixtape dropping early next year, but until then, every month for the rest of this year, I will have singles dropping as videos, reaching out to videographers. Randall. So hopefully we can collab on future videos coming up very soon. I also, like you said, brought the podcast back. I also just made a website, and I actually got the domain for it earlier today. So that's LoTyler.com, and everything that I have as far as new music, new DJ mixes being posted will all be uploaded onto that website. As far as on-campus things, jamming in the caf is a definite in the future. Hopefully with Power Jams 96.9 will also come through. And a new event by Joseph is called Unplugged. It's actually going to start at the beginning of October in a couple of weeks, to where we're going to display and showcase rappers and poetry. So it's going to be like a lounge style. And I just, secured me DJing that for the first one. And hopefully, if it's reoccurring, I'll also be doing that as well. So, yeah.
So, how can people book you, and what are your prices? And what's the turnaround? What's your prices? All that.
Okay. Well, I will say I do like Chick-fil-A. Just buy me a meal. No, it's fine. No. But you can do it online or in person. You can reach out to me on social media and on the website, LoTyler.com. It has a online booking contact to where you can send me an email and reach out to me. For those who are on campus, when I see you, if you see me, just get my attention and we'll talk. That's actually how a lot of the gigs that I have had in the past have happened. So yeah, either online or in person, you can contact me.
Where can we find you on social media? And when you start putting your mixes on social media?
I will. That is a definite goal every week, and more than every week, because I feel like I need to catch up, because I feel like I should have been doing that. And just on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is at LoTylerFlow, LoTylerFlow. And future mixes will be posted. I feel like I'm going to start posting them on a daily almost basis, every other day at least. And for the pricings for DJing, it varies by the hour, and it just varies on location as well.
I just want to say thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's been an experience, definitely. But just like from everything you're doing, like I see the potential. I see the potential for
Thank
growth.
you.
I see the future. And like I when I tell you I'm a fan, I'm not saying this just to be fake. Like, oh, I'm doing it for energy. Like, nah. Like, I really like your movement, your music, the
Thank you.
DJing especially. Like, I see the future. Like, don't let nobody stop you.
Thank you.
And always remember, because you got that empowerment mindset, but don't forget that it starts with empowering yourself first. Because you can do all this other stuff. You can get in the radio, be syndicated in 100 markets, but if you don't own it,
Yeah.
it don't mean nothing. Because that could be taken from you instantly. But if you got your own thing, it can't be taken from you. So I really wish and pray for your success, because it's like you got that energy, you got the wave. Please don't like lose the wave, because you got the wave. Like, ride that wave to graduation straight up. But thank you for the interview, and that's a wrap.
Thank you. Cut. Oh goodness.